Right now, as you watch this, you are wearing a mask. You put it on this morning and never noticed. You checked the mirror, fixed your face, and walked out the door. Someone asked how you were. You said fine. You weren't fine. You said it anyway. That was the first performance of your day, and there were hundreds more. The laugh at a joke you didn't find funny, the nod at an opinion you disagreed with, the no worries said through gritted teeth. You do this so smoothly, you've stopped seeing it. But today, you're going to see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Because the question underneath all of it is simple. If you're always performing, who is actually you? Let's start with a word you use every day. The word person comes from the Latin word persona. In ancient Roman theatre, a persona was the mask an actor held up, a carved face worn to play a role on stage. So the very word you use for a human being once meant a mask. The Romans understood something we forget. You are always playing a part, and the part shifts depending on who is watching. You are one person with your boss, another with your parents, another with the friend you're trying to impress, another when you're completely alone. Each one has a different face, a different voice, a different posture, and you switch between them without a single conscious thought. In 1959, a sociologist named Erving Goffman gave this a name. His book was called The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life. Goffman argued that daily life runs like a theatre. Every room you enter is a stage, and everyone in it is both actor and audience. There is a front stage, where you perform for others, and a backstage, where you finally drop the act, the bathroom stall, where you exhale, the car in the parking lot before you walk in, the face you make, the second the video call ends. Goffman spent his career documenting how much effort this takes, the constant managing of the impression you leave on other people. He called it impression management, and you run it every waking hour, mostly without knowing. But where did the mask even come from? You weren't born wearing it. A baby cries when it hurts and laughs when it's happy. There's no gap between what it feels and what it shows. Then something happens. You learn that some feelings get punished. You cried and someone told you to stop being dramatic. You got excited and someone told you to calm down. You said what you thought and it got you in trouble. So you built a version of yourself that was easier for other people to accept. In 1960, a pediatrician named Donald Winnicott described exactly this. He called it the false self, a polished outer self wrapped around the real one to protect it. For a while, the false self is useful. It keeps you safe. It gets you approval. But Winnicott warned about what happens when it takes over. The real self goes quiet, hidden so deep you lose contact with it, and you start to feel empty without knowing why. Part of why the mask holds is that going against the group feels dangerous, and that fear is measurable. In 1951, psychologist Solomon Asch ran a now famous experiment. He showed people lines and asked which two matched. The answer was obvious. A child could get it right. But he planted actors who all gave the same wrong answer out loud. When it was the real subject's turn, something strange happened. About 75% of people went along with the group at least once. They said the wrong answer, against their own eyes, not because they were fooled. Standing alone felt worse than being wrong. That instinct is old. For your ancestors, the group meant survival, and rejection from the tribe could mean death. So your brain treats fitting in as a matter of life and death. Here is the cruel joke inside all of it. You perform for an audience that is barely watching you. In 2000, psychologist Thomas Gilovich ran a study at Cornell. He made students walk into a room in an embarrassing t-shirt, then asked how many people noticed. They guessed about half. The real number was closer to a quarter. People notice you far less than you think they do. Gilovich called it the spotlight effect. You feel a spotlight on you, so you manage every move. But everyone else is under their own spotlight, watching themselves. The audience you're exhausting yourself for is distracted. They are busy performing for you. None of this would matter if the mask were free. It isn't. In 1983, sociologist Arlie Hochschild studied flight attendants, women trained to smile warmly no matter how they felt inside. She called this work emotional labor, forcing your face to show a feeling your body isn't having. And she found it has a price. The people doing the most surface acting reported more burnout. When you're outside and your inside are at war all day, it drains you. You feel tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. There's another cost, quieter and worse. If the mask is what people love, then they don't love you. They love the performance. And some part of you always knows the difference. So you can be surrounded by people and still feel completely unseen, loved for a face that isn't yours, lonely behind it. The longer you wear it, the more it fuses to your skin. In 1978, psychologists Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes named a feeling. They called it the imposter phenomenon. High-achieving people convinced they are frauds about to be exposed, the better they perform, the more certain they become that it's an act. Because at some level, they know it is. They built a competent mask and can't feel any credit for it. The applause goes to the mask. The person underneath stays hungry. This is where pretending turns on itself. The mask was supposed to protect the real you. Wear it long enough and you forget there was ever a face underneath. You reach for who you really are, and your hand closes on nothing. You've become very good at being no one. So ask yourself something, and answer it honestly. When was the last time someone saw the real you? Not the polished version, not the highlight reel, the one who is scared and unsure and doesn't have it together. For a lot of people, the honest answer is years or never. You have friends who've known you a decade and never met you. You perform closeness so well that no one asks for the real thing. And the mask does its job perfectly. It keeps you safe, and it keeps you alone. Here is what nobody tells you about taking it off. The people worth keeping are relieved when you finally do. They were performing too, waiting for someone to go first. The mask feels like protection. Mostly it's a wall you built and forgot was optional. And walls keep out the thing you actually want. You've spent your whole life getting the performance perfect. The right smile, the right answer, the right version of you for every room. And it worked. That's the problem. It worked so well that almost no one has met the actual you, including, some days, you. So here is the question to carry out of this video and into your real life. Who are you when there is no one left to perform for? And who is the one person you could let see that, starting today? You don't have to tear the mask off in front of everyone. You just have to let it slip once, with someone safe. Say the true thing. Admit you're not fine, if you're not. And watch what happens when the real you finally speaks, because they've been waiting to meet you this whole time.